Well, good Wednesday evening, Arkansas. This is Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again, here to give you guys your evening forecast video before your 8-day forecast comes out later on this evening here. This video is brought to you by our partners at Superior RV in Conway, Arkansas here. So today was one of the great days we've had in terms of temperatures here. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s across the area here. Today was a little cooler, but still not bad across the area here. So here's current temperatures right now here. We've got temperatures falling into the 30s already across northeastern Arkansas. 39 in Clinton, 41 in Jonesboro, 43 up there in Piggott. Still clinging on to the 50s across western and southwestern Arkansas here. So don't expect temperatures to fall too much tonight. Over the next couple of days here, temperatures are going to kind of balance itself out before we get into the weekend time frame, with more heavy rainfall coming our way as we get towards late Saturday and into that Sunday time frame here. So let's go over to your evening highlights real quickly, and let's talk about it here. So I've had a lot of questions about when is it going to get cold again, when are we going to see snow, etc. You got to realize something here in Arkansas, guys. Arkansas is not meant to have sustained cold and snow. It's just it will never be like that here in Arkansas. If you want sustained cold and snow, you're going to have to go north. This time of the year, you know, we have that January thaw. Temperatures do warm up, and then we have to deal with stuff in February here. So yes, it is the potential as we get into mid-February here. Now, is it going to rival, or is it going to be worse than we had earlier on this month? I highly doubt it. It is going to get cold, don't get me wrong. But I highly doubt it's going to get to the magnitude that we had earlier on this month, because it's so hard to repeat something like that. Could we have some winter weather? Possibly. Way too early to sit here and talk about all that, with us being 2 to 3 weeks away from any potential cold shots. But until then, temperatures are going to be above normal, with precipitation being above normal as well. And speaking of precipitation, we've got widespread rainfall moving in as we get towards late Saturday and a Sunday. I can't rule out a few rumbles of thunder, by the way, here. We're not expecting any severe weather, but with the dynamics in place, I can't rule out a few thunderstorms here. And as I just mentioned, above normal temperatures are going to dominate the first half of February before we get into that. I'd say if you were to have some sort of pattern change, it's probably going to be right around that Valentine's time frame. I think that's going to be the best shot of seeing another shot of cold air coming our way here. Okay, so let's talk about rainfall totals over the next 7 days here, guys. And majority of the areas should see 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. There could be some locally higher amounts, especially across southwestern Arkansas, where some totals could easily be 3, maybe approaching 4 inches of rainfall. And you got to remember something. This past month, January, we had rainfall totals approaching almost 10 inches of rain across the area here. So it's any kind of rainfall that we get over the next 7 days, if it stalls out, it doesn't move out a lot, you could have some additional flooding across the area here. So just keep that in mind. I'll be very interested to see how the drop monitor looks by the time we get to this upcoming Thursday, which is tomorrow. So I'll be very interested to see what ends up happening with that here, guys. But like I mentioned before, rainfall totals look right around 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Could be some locally higher amounts. The further north and east you go, the lower the rainfall totals are going to be across the area here. If you haven't already, by the way, go download our app. I'm going to talk about that coming up in a little bit. But this is our overall forecast for tonight here. So like I mentioned before, not much in the way of temperatures falling into the 20s or anything like that. We're kind of clinging into the low to mid 30s. Some areas may sneak right at or just a little bit below freezing, especially across northeastern Arkansas. The further west and south you go, the temperatures are going to be closer to 40 degrees as we get towards night. Obviously, no rain chances across the board here. And as I mentioned before, just briefly, if you haven't already, go download our weather app here. It's going to be on arkansasweatherwatchers.com/app. Or you can go to the Play Store and make sure you download it, guys. It has radar, has your 7-day forecast. We've had a lot of people say that they don't see our Facebook posts. Make sure you can download the app. You can look at the Facebook feed and everything like that here, okay? So let's take a look at some model data real quickly here, guys. And I want to show you guys the WPC real quick. And this is just looking at the rainfall totals over the next 7 days here. So like I said before, central and southwestern Arkansas, totals near 2 inches of rain. The further north and east you go, the lower the rainfall totals are going to be. And I know we were looking at this a couple of days, well, about a week ago, where model data was suggesting the potential winter weather, etc. We're not expecting any winter weather or severe weather with this setup as we get towards the weekend. Just simply cold and heavy rainfall across the area here. But yeah, it has been a very, 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 very wet month for us here in Arkansas. As a matter of fact, I can show you guys the last, well, let's go to the last 30 days here and take a look at this. This is how much rainfall we've seen over the last 30 days across the area. Some areas across central and southern Arkansas approaching almost a foot of precipitation here. Now keep in mind, this is not only rainfall. We saw snow, we saw ice, etc. It's just kind of combining everything into one. And you could definitely see where the heavier precipitation occurred across central and southern Arkansas. Western, northwestern Arkansas, you haven't seen too much up here. You still got 2 to 4 inches of rain. But boy, we've had a lot of rain across the area here, across central, eastern, and southern Arkansas. You guys needed it because of the drought. But like I said before, as we get into the weekend, you start approaching 2, 3, 4 inches of rainfall with the ground being as saturated as it is. You could definitely see some flooding problems as we get into the weekend here. Now, let's take a look at the GFS here. I saw this earlier on. I think it may have changed. But I'm going to kind of speed blitz this through outside we get past the weekend. We're going to have to watch that 10th and 11th time frame as we get towards next month here. That's going to be not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after. That's Super Bowl weekend. We're going to have to watch that because guidance is wanting to throw some sort of severe threat across our area here. Now, obviously, you start looking beyond 10 days out. Instability is not going to be worth anything, but something that we're going to have to watch. The setup itself would provide at least the potential of some strong to severe thunderstorms as we get towards that 10th and 11th time frame here. And then beyond that, I do believe the model guidance has changed. Actually, it hasn't. It's just delayed a little bit. We do have some colder air that's going to move in across the area here. Let's zoom this out to just a regional view. And yeah, I'd say a little bit after the Valentine's time frame, we could have some colder air moving in across the area here. So something that we'll have to keep an eye on as we get into the later part of the month. As you can see, there's let's take this back. So this is right now, a lot of warm air in place. And then you could take this out all the way through as we get towards next week. So pretty much 2 weeks of warm air just dominating our forecast here. And then you get later into the month, you start reverting back to those blue, the green, the purple colors. That suggests is that you will have temperatures that are going to be below normal here. So if you're looking for cold, just a little bit of patience. I don't know about you guys. I'm ready for some warm weather. But I do understand a lot of people are still looking for cold and snow and all that here. So just be patient. We're going to be under this regime for about 2 weeks. And I think by the time we get later into February, we should have one more Arctic blast come south before we fully make that transition over to spring. And speaking of spring, we do have our spring outlook coming up. I'm going to release a date probably over the next week or so. It's going to be a pretty active spring. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So we'll have more on that later on as we get into February here. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.